Stay tuned. The show is about to begin. All right. Hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Elizabeth, welcome. Andrea, and everybody, welcome. If you're tuning in from YouTube, I appreciate you being here. Like and subscribe. If you're listening to the replay on Spotify, I think you're super cool. I love podcasts as well. But if you want to join the conversation, if you want to be a part of the discussion, maybe ask some specific questions, tune into the astrology as it pertains to yourself, maybe with a, what do we call it? Birth chart. See, now I'm drawing blanks. So on and so forth, then download Fireside either on the Google Play Store, just search Fireside Chat, or on the Apple Play Store, search Apple Store, I should say. Play Store is Google, right? In the Apple Store, search for Fireside Chat and join the conversation. That way you can be on the loop as it pertains to you. But if you're tuning in, it's all well and good. Welcome. Good evening. Happy Moon Day. Happy June. Can you believe it's already been 6 months? Happy Pride. How are you feeling? How are we feeling? Are we feeling like we are prancing around like Olaf, in summer? Like Olaf just prances around and he has this amazing fantasy that summer is just this epic season in life. He doesn't realize he's about to get burned, literally. Jennifer says in the know. Wonderful. Welcome. And it's going to be an interesting conversation. Obviously, just fascinating and amazing nonetheless, and super cool because of the astrology happening this week. Venus enters Leo, and it's going to be in Leo for 4 months. And, it's going to be impacted by the fact that Venus rules Taurus, and Taurus is in this mind journey the size of Jupiter, literally, with Jupiter in Taurus for the next year. So it's going to be highlighting a lot of interesting dynamics, relationships, so on and so forth. And then, of course, the moon just complements it all so beautifully. We're also going to discuss the full moon because Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I went live on Instagram at songofmyself.ig. I go live there every new moon and every full moon to do the live discussion of the questions that we also touch here, and to paint live. And so I want to thank Terry and Wynn for always tuning in and for being a part of these conversations. So welcome. Let's begin. So it's Moon Day, and the moon is in Capricorn. And the thing about Capricorn is that it also rules finances along with order, tradition, and I guess order and organization is kind of redundant, right? I have these moments of searching for words in my head because, bilingual stuff. But Capricorn, it's great coming out of a moon in Scorpio because this full moon was intense. How did you feel it? Everyone in my home was in a cleaning frenzy. My son's girlfriend's mom was on a cleaning frenzy in her home. And my child was super electrified and loud and all over the place, right? Very full moon behavior. Music, loud. Comings and goings, right? The teenagers were coming and going, just one plan after the other. Fishing in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, people in Florida go somewhere off the coast to fish overnight. Man, like that's some love to fishing, but still that kind of stuff was happening this weekend, and I was just not surprised about any of it because it was the full moon, right? And it was that full moon in Sagittarius, which I feel like, that Sagittarius direction of that's what I want to do, target it, ding, 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 got it. And it felt like that this weekend. Ooh, here's an idea. Ooh, let's do it. It's the weekend, right? That felt like a great excuse. And all of a sudden, I found myself deep in cleaning and projects and redecorating. And by the end of the day, by the end of yesterday, so the whole weekend, I was definitely physically exhausted, right? And so, how was that? How was the full moon for you? If you want to check out the live on Instagram, then find me at songofmyself.ig and there's the live. But we're going to touch on all of that. But let's talk about the week ahead before. So the moon in Capricorn is going to be happening until Wednesday, and then it moves into Aquarius. And the thing about Aquarius is that emotional, not intelligence, it's emotional freedom. And emotional freedom gives me hope because it's that aspect of being outspoken. I'm trying to find the words, I don't know, without seeming passive aggressive. There you go. That's why I'm like stepping on eggshells, I feel like. Because do you speak your mind? How often do you speak your mind? Do you feel safe enough to speak your mind? And people in relationships, there's always a relationship dynamic, right? In a conversation, there's always a power dynamic, sorry. In a conversation, there's usually a power dynamic. With my child, it's obvious. The power dynamic is I'm the one in the power and he's the child, although sometimes that coin is really flipped, right? And the power dynamic just goes out the window. And it's his world and I just live in it. Yeah, more often than not, but still. And power dynamics are going to be highlighted with Venus and Leo because Leo is roar, very outspoken, roar, and Venus rules relationships. And of course, there's Mercury all over the chart, right? Because it's a planet that is doing its thing. And Mercury is the planet of communication and all those conversations. And so really deciding what you value currently in your life, what you want to hold on to. Like, for example, I'm going to make an example because of the time. I'm going to use this as the example. If before now in your life you never cared about Happy Pride, but this year you feel called to do something about it, maybe you're in the limbo of how do I go about it? Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of like, it's just me. So what difference could I make? So maybe I just don't say anything. So ponder that relationship. Ponder that just because it's Pride Month and all these legislations are just out the window, I feel like, and they shouldn't be. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get political. But ponder that. And then love relationships, absolutely. For as long as Venus is doing its thing, it's going to go retrograde as well. So what you value, beauty, treasures in life, luxuries, love and good times and things of good taste and things that just feel good and sit well versus not if it's in retrograde. So we will talk more about it as it unfolds, but what's happening now, it's going to be for the next 4 months until October. And I just can't believe that the year is it's already month number 6. Like, what? Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. And then the moon goes from Aquarius to Pisces, and it's a lovely weekend with the moon in Pisces, regardless of whatever else is happening. Pluto is going to be in opposition to Venus entering Leo. And what happens with Pluto, as I've told you before, when Pluto enters the scene, this is the sound that happens. Dun, dun, dun. You've heard me say this before, and it's because Pluto will totally just slap you in the face with a reality check or some transformation that you just don't want to really undertake because who has the time? But Pluto, especially in opposition to what Venus is doing in Leo for the next 4 months, which is going to be or try to be very flamboyant because of that Leo aspect of it. And it's gonna want to be loud because Leo does want that attention. And hopefully, not hopefully, we will survive it, but hopefully it goes well and we learn what we need to learn. And, we have a lot of things to celebrate by the end of it. So let's just leave it at that. But with the moon in Pisces, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, um, remember Pisces is very sensitive. So if your moon is in Pisces, you might be very intuitively gifted, right? Or maybe you didn't know it until now. So let's see what happens now, right? If your Venus is in Pisces, you might also be very emotional because Pisces is a water sign, and Venus, the relationship, the love, right? And then with the moon in Pisces is a perfect time to do that deep inner work of prayer work, divination, at least in my experience, right? This is some of the things I teach, coach people through, and just encourage as a daily spiritual practice, especially when the moon is in Leo. You've heard me talk about the bare minimum, right? And you've heard me say this before as well. If you are not going to do any of the above, prayer, journaling, divination, I don't know, reading of the tea leaves, what do you want to call it? How do you connect to spirit? If you're not going to do any of that, uh, if you're not going to do any of that like routinely, then the moon in Pisces is the perfect time to sit down and meditate, to connect. Water is a great conduit, right? And Pisces is that water sign, and the moon is that, ruler of Cancer, or another water sign. And water is about the emotion aspect of everything, and that's the moon. So, it is the perfect time to slow down and ponder that relationship or what that practice looks like for you. This is why the word ritual is used, because it does become that kind of activity, to put it into simpler words. So that will be this weekend. And then, of course, with Venus in the scene, ponder your actual love relationships and the aspect of, the spirituality or the sensibility or the sensitivity that could be coming up this weekend. And that is the week. And we've only done 15 minutes of our chitter chatter, and I'm so grateful that you're here. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. If you would like to come up, this is your time. Request the mic. And if you don't know how, then just click on all the buttons and see what happens. Because I know Fireside has had some upgrades, but it's always so much fun to connect with you all. And if nobody's coming up, it's all well and good. I'm going to move on to the refresher of the full moon. Ron is coming up. Okay, before the full moon, we're going to talk to Ron. Hi, Ron. Would you like to be on camera?
No, thank you, but I appreciate you asking.
Yes. How
Can
are
you hear
you
me?
doing?
I'm doing fantastic. But you said though, you said something about water. So what I just had, I just suddenly had this vision of being in a pool and floating on my back and doing meditation. That would be that would be great, right? Is that what you're saying? Any kind of water?
Yes, that would be super fun. Like, imagine listening to like one of my meditations on the pool while you're
Yes.
floating.
How about doing one of your meditations where you're at like you're on a beach and I'm actually on a beach? That would be
Right,
fantastic.
exactly. That's
In
right.
fact, that's yeah. But the thing is that what I can do is I can have your beach meditation, and I can go to one of this lake we have that's really big, that has small waves due to boats and stuff, and so I can really replicate the beach. It's just a quicker way for me. But anyway, I digress. What
Oh, I
I want
love
to
that.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
yeah, and Chani Nicholas, right, from the Chani app, she reminded me that Venus rules beauty and gardens, and instantly I was like, yes, I mean all these meditations that we have done that are in the garden.
yeah.
So if there's also some meditations we have done where there's the birds and the water flowing. So there's just so many to choose from, Ron. They're all on my YouTube. Like separate
Oh,
from the episodes,
excellent.
all of the meditations are on my YouTube.
Okay. Well, then definitely, I didn't know you had them on your YouTube. That's great. And you said the full moon. When was that exactly?
So the full moon peaked Saturday at 11:40 something p.m. our my time, so 9:40 something Pacific Standard Time of Saturday.
Gotcha.
And it was the
Okay.
moon in Sagittarius, the strawberry moon. So this is why I painted a strawberry,
Oh,
strawberry
nice.
field forever.
Forever.
That's right. And it's pride, so of
Yes.
course the rainbow inspiration.
Beautiful. I love
And
it.
yeah, Terry joined me on the live to discuss all the questions, and I was about to get into that.
Excellent. Okay, I'll let you get into that. Thank you, Graciela.
Thank you, Ron. I love you. Thanks for
Love you
coming
too.
out.
You're welcome. What
We'll
about
be
how
in
do I know?
touch. Yes. It's like we'll be in touch. Like I'll text you later, Ron. I'm kidding. Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. Yes, everybody, give Ron a round of applause. Thank you, Ronald, for coming up. Okay, so before we move on to our lovely meditation, which now, thanks to Ron, we know that it's going to be in the garden with the water. I'll do my best. Of course, it's going to be wonderful regardless because it's going to be from Brain FM. So I'm super stoked about that. But let's talk about the full moon. Sagittarius, strawberry moon, full moon, emotional distress or emotional instability or just emotional overflow. Those are the types of things that can happen. Restlessness. I tend to feel restless overnight when there's a full moon. And I'll tell you why. It's because the window, I'm looking at it right now, the window where my pillow is exactly where the full moon is most of the year. So, oh man, it's so bright. Even with the curtains, even with everything, it's just pretty bright. So I tend to stay up, toss and turn, look at it, check in on it, be like, there it is. For real. Overnight, right? Every time I get up. And so yes, this full moon was pretty hyped up. That's what I would use to kind of sum up the weekend. So I wonder how it was for you. Let me know in the comments or send like a fire. If your weekend was as hyped up as I am making mine seem, then send a fire emoji and let me know. So the first question that the full moon wants you to know, you can still journal these by all means. What do I feel is lacking in my life? And the reason why I asked that question in the book that you can get on Amazon, right? Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace, is because last week there was a heavy influence of Saturn. We're not going to get into the details, but Saturn was highlighting what is lacking in your life. And we talked about how, with the full moon aspect added to Saturn highlighting what is lacking in your life, there's a deep aspect of grief that comes into play. Because don't we grieve what could have been? Don't we grieve the what if that we kind of romanticized and might have gotten really attached to, yet it didn't happen? There's that lack aspect that Saturn was highlighting. Elizabeth sends like 4 fire emojis. Thank you, Elizabeth. And so I wanted you to look to really bring your awareness to what is lacking so that then you can decide, what can I bring to fruition right now? What is lacking up until now that maybe it's in the cards for me right now? Or I am in a position, or I am in a moment in my life where I can actually bring this to life? Or I'm going to let it go, which is perfect for the full moon, because that's what the full moon invites us to do in the end. It's to banish or release or to finish the cycle, right? To end whatever, cut the cord or finish what needs to be done so that the seeds that you planted before in the new moon can continue to grow and come to fruition. The full moon is the little maintenance weed eating that we do so that the new moon seeds can continue to grow and, manifest, right? And so bring your awareness to what is lacking and actively decide, do I have the tools to bring this to life right now? It's like when we're moving and we do the sticky notes. This is to keep, and this is to donate, and this is to throw away. Our donate little sticky note is going to say, put it away until the next time you reevaluate it. All right, fine. Out of sight, out of mind. But for now, we're going to look at everything and decide, I'm going to bring this to fruition because I'm equipped right now to do it, because I can, because I want to, because it is the moment. I'm going to put this back in the drawer and not think about it again until there's a major shift that brings it up again. It's okay. Live in denial all you want. Or I'm going to release it, let it go, and never bring it up again. Make that promise with yourself and see if you can really keep it. Get in the habit of doing that for real, right? Like, how else do you do day-to-day things? And then question number 2, how is my reality in alignment with my intuitive goals? First, you have to identify what your intuitive goals are. Do you have intuitive goals? What are intuitive goals? Graciela, what the heck did you mean by that? What are intuitive goals? Okay, I apologize if you hear my dogs barking, but that's that side of the room is the backyard. So, my intuitive goals, when I look at goals and intuition together, it means the building of that spiritual practice. Because my goal is, let me word this right, because I never want spirit to seem like it's like I'm taking it lightly. You know what I mean? Okay. So, thank you. So, this connection with spirit, this gift, it's not necessarily a power, it's a gift, right? And because it is a gift, I feel like it can't be yielded at any time whenever I want to. It comes and goes. It's a flash, right? It's a blessing. It's an instant. It's a wrinkle in time, right? It's a glitch in the matrix, right? And so my goal when it comes to that spirituality, sensitivity, sensibility, connection, awareness is for that to be the rule, not the exception, for it to be in hand as a tool, right? Inside part of my life currently, not in a drawer, out of sight, out of mind, and days go by and it's just not in my life. And that's my choice. I speak for myself. I'm pretty sure that there's so many people out there who live day to day with absolutely no concept of spirituality because that's their choice. And I'm just going to mute really quick, and just tell my dog to be quiet. Oh my gosh, was I muted? I hope so. I guess I'll check in the edit and I could always edit it out, but still. Last question, how can I strike for balance? The elusive balance that I know it's so hard to kind of wrap our heads around. In present circumstances and state of mind. And the goal for that is to really align your present circumstances with your state of mind. As above, so below, or as below, so above. Are we aware? Are we connected? How are we doing with that? That is the goal. And the affirmation, to tie it all up with a big bow, the affirmation is, my needs are fulfilled. I am worthy of love, peace, happening. I am worthy of love, peace, happiness, money, and the abundance that the universe is here to bless me with. That's a mouthful. But I really wanted to bring attention to all of the abundant blessings, right? Especially with Saturn's hand in the mix of last week's full moon in Sagittarius. And so that is it. And I'm really sorry that my dogs keep barking, because a meditation with the dogs barking in the background, man, that's just not it, honestly. But there's traffic on our street right now. I can see a car driving by. So I'm just going to give it another moment, but that's the full moon. Let's not forget that you don't have to tune in live to do it. There's no clock. I'm going to say it like that, right? There's no clock ticking on when you do this, but of course, the more you kind of get in the habit of doing it with the full moon and with the new moon and the moon day journaling that I'm going to talk about right now, then the easier it just gets, right? The faster it becomes. So if you are following the Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2023 manifestation agenda / journal, you know that every moon day you have an opportunity to do an open journal. I do it right after the show. I love doing it after the show, since I started honestly just a few months ago, even though we've been doing this since January. But it was like 2 months ago that I decided to start journaling after the show, because I really wanted to have the time for myself after our meditation. Our meditations are not rehearsed. I don't have notes over here. I only have like the affirmations from the book. And so a lot of the visualizations that I guide us through, which I listen to after the show, are the right in the moment, spirit inspiration, just whatever comes through for us to take a look at or walk through or ponder. And I love doing this. Is one of the modalities that I use for my clients as well. We do a lot of visualization and that sort of reading, and it's always very rewarding. And so I love that we get to have those together. And then I journal. So I don't know if you journal afterwards or if you go straight to sleep or move on with your life, it's fine. But taking the time to just connect the brain with your hand, as above so below, is just gonna make it easier for you to have that self-awareness, target your attention to where you want it needed to go, and set the goals that you need to set to just move on, and keep on going. So yeah, how are you doing with that? Welcome, Frankie. How is that practice moving along? And with Venus and Leo, that will be highlighted as well, because Venus likes that comfort, and there's no comfort without effort, and there's no comfort without action. So yay, I'm gonna leave it at that. My dogs have settled. Hopefully the next thing I'm hearing now is my toddler, but he's not barking, and I don't think you can hear him. So we're gonna move on. Get comfortable, everybody. I know, right? Get comfortable, everybody. This is live television over here, and we're gonna move on to our meditation. So feet on the ground. We're gonna go into the garden, because Venus's hand is all over the astrology for the next 4 months, right? That's how I like to say it. And so Venus rules gardens, as Chani reminded us in her Astrology of the Week podcast. Music for this meditation is brought to you by Brain FM. In the fortune cookie, you can find all of the links, especially the new merch that I put out. I'm so excited about it. The link is in the fortune cookie or in the description. Let's get settled. Focus on your normal breathing. And with me, take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep, long breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out nice and slow through your mouth. Hold it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe in again through your nose. Long, deep breath in all the way till you have no room for more air. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it out through your mouth. Nice and slow. Long breath out all the way. Hold it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe normal. And as you settle into this breath, I want you to ponder and imagine that we are barefoot on a soft, green, cloudy meadow, and we feel the wind, and we hear the birds. And in this moment, everything is so clear, so obvious. And as you walk to get closer to a tree, things become even more clear, and you know exactly what to do next. And as you get close to the tree, you notice some flowers underneath, all different colors, all different kinds, all lush, and so many bugs, and you are not afraid. And the buzzing and the wing flapping and all the birds, and you take it all in, and it is beautiful and perfect. And as you take a deep breath in on this spot in this garden through your nose, and you hold it at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you breathe out through your mouth, a long breath out. Feeling as you are one with this place. You breathe slow and you ponder how much you love this and all parts of yourself. And you look around and ponder how much this scene reminds you that you are unstoppable and that your love and your essence are worth so much. With me, take one last breath in through your nose. Long breath, deep breath in, hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Long breath out through your mouth. Long breath out all the way till you have no air. Hold it at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe in again. Long, deep breath in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out all the way through your mouth. And settle into that exhale. And slowly bring your awareness to your body. And open your eyes. And come back to me. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Frankie. And thank you for joining us, Peter. Thank you so much, everybody. Nice, short, and sweet episode. Next week, we're going to talk about the new moon. And it's the new moon in Taurus, so I'm excited for that. And we will discuss all of the questions. And here we have it, new moon in Taurus. The affirmation is, I can create the life of my dreams. Yeah, you can. Why are you not? That's the question. So ponder that. We will discuss it next week. Thank you again. Thank you for all that you do to support me and my business. I appreciate you so much. It's so fun. The merch is in the shop, so check out the link in the description. Book a call. I'm here for you. I love you all, and I'll see you next week. Bye.